Good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me for Sound Healing Sundays. I hope you grabbed your tea, your water, something to hydrate, grab your yoga mat, a journal, and a pen. I know I made a short announcement to change it to the mornings, but I thought, one, you're welcome to those who, enjoy the football season. You're welcome. But also, just a way to start the week as well, to set a foundation of how we want our week to go. Just starting from the very beginning, just opening our eyes on Sunday. And then also, as I talked about on one of my posts, seasonal affective disorder. It's coming, right? We're going to get less sunlight, but more symptomatic of not getting as much exercise maybe, or not getting out as much, not as much social events or gatherings outside of holidays, which, for some people the holidays may be rough. So I wanted to switch it to the morning, switch it up a little bit, try something different, try something new. Also, I just enjoy starting my day as well with a little bit of meditation, and so wanted to see the flip side of it and see what audience we gather this morning. So last week I talked a little bit about the crown chakra, and I talked about how I felt we were becoming a little bit disconnected from ourselves just because of the flood of information in media with a lot of fear of terror and hurtful, heinous, destructive, violent things online. A lot of changes happening that feel out of our control. And I think, like I said before, a lot of it is intentful. A lot of the flood of information is to keep us overstimulated. And one thing I said I wanted to work on with myself was slowing down. A lot of me is very on to the next thing. My brain just moves on to the next thing. And a little bit of that is that hypervigilance of preparation, right? And so if you cause people to be overstimulated and stay in a state of worry, anxiety, panic, concern, you are always externalizing, always out here instead of in here. And so I wanted to talk about the heart chakra this week, of leaning more into our love and not our fear. Because there are things that are outside of our control, yes. However, a lot of what is in our control, we just need the tenacity to understand that it's in our control. The courage to know what's in our control. Because that learned helplessness of things are just this way. This is just how things are. It's a level of acceptance that is different from, I can't change how people think, right? But I can show up in the world that may convince them otherwise, right? And it's not to prove or to do anything right, not like that, like I'm going to prove people wrong, but like you don't have to feed into the negativity with people, right? You can walk in your own compass, your own journey, your own path, and still have integrity in that, and despite what you see in the world. And I know that's hard. I speak from that directly. It's hard to not want to join into the negativity and feel hopeless and just feel like, what is all of this for? But it really does have purpose. It really does have meaning, and we all have to together collectively raise the vibration at our level to change the conversations at our level. Because the social worker in me, right, you have the micro, macro, all these different systems. They have a lot of control on a macro level system that no, I can't go and change what's on the news. But at the same time, the conversations we have with each other about how we can build up community and create a world of compassion within our own environments that spread out and touch other people. And so I think that means leaning in a little bit into our, like I said, our hearts, and not the fear, leaning a little bit more into love. And I even thought about it for myself on perception, the perception of what love looks like for different people, having an understanding of that as well, because I think that also depends on how we love, is because we want others to love like we love, or how we love. and understand love in the way that we do. And I think that's a part of releasing that fear and expectation as well, is allowing people to love how they love, without that control, without that angst, without that anxiety, without that concern. And just honestly being authentic to yourself enough that you being you is enough, right? So this week I wanted to do some heart journaling. For a few minutes, I wanted to kind of sit with ourselves in silence and placing your hand over your heart. That sense of touch, it does send and activate your parasympathetic nerve, right? To activate that connection with yourself. I want you to do a quick, deep 3 inhale, hold, exhale, and just touching your heart and really feeling connected. What do you feel? I want you to listen to sound. I want you to pay attention to physical symptoms you might feel in your body, but placing your left hand over your heart, taking a moment to take 3 deep breaths, and really sit with yourself and really give yourself love and compassion in that moment. No expectations, just slowing down, sitting with yourself, and leaning into love and faith and not fear, releasing fear, and really showing yourself some compassion. Okay? So, just sitting with your hand over your heart, and for 1 deep inhale, in through your nose and out through your mouth. So go ahead and relax your shoulders. I want you to think, how often do you really just allow yourself to sit with yourself in that quiet moment? I want you to thank yourself and give yourself gratitude for giving yourself that moment to just be, to just breathe, and just connect with yourself. Because like I said, a lot of the world is so go, go, go. I don't know about you, but I feel so much calmer after those 3 deep breaths, right? Like, I don't know if you sense the change in tone in my voice and all of that, but how often do we just allow ourselves to regulate in that moment? That took maybe less than 10 seconds. And before I started, I was running around plugging things and walking my dog and, just overly excited about, oh, I'm doing it in the morning and I have to do these things, and oh, I forgot this step, because you get in a rhythm of things. And life happens, and disruption happens, change happens, and fear kicks in. We get excitable. We want to speed up the process because we want to know the outcome. And so even for myself, practicing, right? This is why I practice. It doesn't have to be a rush. Thankfully, this is recorded. I can play this back later. I have lovely followers and subscribers that are patient, that aren't on my ass about, hey, where are you at? Even though I did have some people message me like, hey, wait a minute. But it's not the end of the world. So every day is growing and evolving, and giving yourself grace and compassion in that. Like I said, the world is very chaotic right now. There's a lot of overload of information, very overstimulated, making people feel like it's crunch time, right? It's go time. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And honestly, for a good portion of us, I think this is a state of rest and peace. A lot of people I know want to resist that sense of peace and that sense of rest, but I truly believe that a lot of the people that I've talked to who have been satin down, I'll say it this way, a lot of people have been satin down. They're very hard workers, very, very ethical hard workers, very intelligent people, and again, it just seems as if there's lack of opportunity. And I know that's hardship for a lot of people, but honestly, I do feel like some people were made to rest, because there is more ahead of us. I don't think that's not to negate that at all. I think there is more ahead of us, but maybe that means some are called to rest and preparation. Rest is also preparation, and so you don't always have to be doing something. You can give yourself compassion in that you are allowed to rest as well. Alright, so again, leaning more into love this week, less into fear, giving yourself grace, giving yourself compassion, disconnecting from all the external noise, getting back inside, showing yourself some love. You want to take a few moments to journal what you reflected on in that quick, brief meditation with yourself, with your hand, with your heart. What did you notice in your body? Like I said, for me, I felt calmer afterwards. I felt more regulated afterwards. Mental clarity. I had a little bit more mental clarity. And I feel content. I feel joyful. I guess I don't have to journal mine, but go ahead and take a few moments to journal. But I feel at peace. I feel a lot of gratitude. And go ahead and you journal what you feel. Going well. If you're new here, I do a sound bath meditation every Sunday, and so I let people do a couple minutes of journaling before we do our sound bath. We reflect a little bit, and so that is what we're doing right now. But thank you for joining the live. I appreciate you being here. I feel like people just want to like get to the sound bath, so I try to not be long-winded, but sometimes that's how it goes. So if you want to get comfortable, you can lay on your mat or you can get seated comfortably, and I'll go ahead and get started. So Healing Fam, you can get up at your own will, no rush. Again, I appreciate you joining me this Sunday. I appreciate you taking the time change that came with that. Again, going out with love and positive energy, trying to release that fear of what's going on in the world, letting your love take control of how you show up in the world and not necessarily your fear, not leaning into fear. So again, thank you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You can catch other sound bath videos that I've posted as well as other mental health discussions. Again, I appreciate you, Healing Fam. Thank you. Have a good Sunday. Namaste.